Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10. Powered by Reva University, Quick Heal Secrite, Green Lamb Laminates, PolicyBazaar.com. Co-powered by Mankind Pharma.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trinamool Congress parliamentarian Kalyan Banerjee, who has been outright defiant after he mocked the Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar's physical limitation, has once again repeated it. What's even more appalling is the India Alliance leader has called it fundamental right of expression. Time and again, he has called mimicry an art. The India Alliance has backed the shameful act of the Trinamool Congress leader, questioning what's wrong with it. Ladies and gentlemen, for how long the India Alliance leader can get away with the insult to the Vice President? And it all appears that there is a clear backing that he has got from his party. When this question was actually asked to the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, she simply refused to respond. All that she said was the parliamentary party would actually look into the matter. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget that when there were certain social media posts that were put up about Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, you had a battery of people coming out from the party saying that the Chief Minister is being insulted. Not just that, on various counts, you've actually had same very indie leaders who had a lot of problem. If you remember, when the Prime Minister had addressed the Chief Minister of West Bengal during a political rally, mind you, this was during a political rally when the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, was addressed by the Prime Minister as Didi or Didi. You had the Trinamool Congress being up in arms. They said that how can you insult a woman leader? And all of this was actually happening in the midst of a political rally. But what has happened here is completely different. Inside the parliament premises, you had a senior Trinamool Congress leader mimicking the Rajya Sabha chairman, who also happens to be the vice president, and not just that, a tall political leader who has also been the governor of West Bengal. Take a look at the developments and then we begin the debate.
Unapologetic, defiant, shameful. TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee showed no remorse. He mocked Vice President Jagdeep Dhankhar once again in Mamata Banerjee's bastion, Sri Rampur.
Sir, you are a lawyer, no? The right to expression is a fundamental right. Mimicry is a right, is an expression. It's my fundamental right, which nobody can destroy. Right to give a dissent, right to protest is also my fundamental right. It's also my fundamental right. You cannot destroy it. এই destruction, এই যে বিরোধী দলকে বুলডোজার করা, এই বিরোধী দলের পিছনে লেগে থাকা, এই তো আমাদের প্রতিবাদ, এই তো প্রতিবাদ আমাদের, সেই প্রতিবাদই তো আমরা করছি, আমরা করে চলেছি, আমরা করব। কি করবেন আপনি আমাকে? আমি জানি আপনি কি করতে পারেন আমাকে। আপনি আমাকে জেলে পুরতে পারেন, তবু আমার প্রতিবাদের ভাষা স্তব্ধ করতে পারবেন না। আমি জানি যে আপনি চক্রান্ত করে আমাকে খুব করে দিতে পারেন, তবু আমি আমার প্রতিবাদের ভাষা আমি বন্ধ করব না। প্রতিবাদ আমি করব।
TMC MP Kalyan Banerjee's mood has changed perhaps after his distasteful mimicry of the Vice President of India standing inside the parliament premises. But after he came back to Bengal, his mood has changed. Kalyan Banerjee did those same kinds of mimicries standing on the dais. And this time he is even more defiant because Kalyan Banerjee is saying that he has got the right to do such things.
India Alliance leaders put their weight behind the TMC MP.
मेरा ख्याल है आर्ट और कला के नज़रिए से देखा जाना चाहिए। इसमें कोई बड़ी बात नहीं थी। धनखड़ जी ने तिल का ताड़ बना दिया, कोई ये बड़ी बात नहीं थी। इससे ज़्यादा तो मोदी जी नकल कर चुके हैं संसद के अंदर।
मिमिक्री से भी क्यों डरते हैं? प्रधानमंत्री जी खुद भी सदन में मिमिक्री किया था, तब बात कहा था। तो इसलिए मिमिक्री एक आर्ट है। कल्याण बनर्जी ने ये कहा, सही कहा। आप अगर के आर्ट को भी खत्म करोगे, अगर कोई मिमिक्री करेगा उनको गिरफ्तार करोगे क्या?
स्वतः ही पूरे देश के लोग संज्ञान लेते हैं और उनकी मिमिक्री नहीं करी जाती है। मेरे हिसाब से जो ये पिछड़े समाज के लोग और जो संवैधानिक पद पे बैठे हैं, मेरे हिसाब से ये ठीक नहीं है, हम इसके पक्षधर नहीं है।
BJP has hit out at Kalyan Banerjee, calling him arrogant.
अब उनकी राजनीति का यही स्तर है तो
राहुल गांधी क्यों चुप है?
राहुल गांधी चुप है, ममता चुप है, देश जनता जवाब देगी। मैं भर्सना करता हूँ।
कल्याण बनर्जी हो या कोई भी हो, अहंकार उनकी चरम पे है। अगर देश की संवैधानिक पद में बैठे हुए लोगों को ऐसे मजाक उड़ाएंगे, अगर देश की किसान की पुत्र को ऐसे मजाक उड़ाएंगे, पिछड़े वर्ग से आए हुआ लोगों का ऐसे मजाक उड़ाएंगे, प्रजातंत्र में उनको कभी भी जनता माफ नहीं करेगी।
उपराष्ट्रपति जो ओबीसी समाज से आते हैं, जो जाट समाज से आते हैं, जो किसान पुत्र है, उनका एक नहीं दो बार इस प्रकार से मिमिक्री करना और उस पर अफसोस न जताना, उसको सही दिखाना। पहले कहना कि ये आर्ट फॉर्म था, अब कहना ये अधिकार है। क्या ये आर्ट फॉर्म और अधिकार है कि संवैधानिक पदों पर बैठे हुए व्यक्तियों का आप इस प्रकार का मखौल उड़ाएं? कहीं ना कहीं ममता बनर्जी और पूरे इंडी अलायंस की शय है। राहुल गांधी वीडियो बना रहे थे, वो शय दे रहे थे, वो पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे थे। ममता बनर्जी भी जो कार्रवाई नहीं कर रही है, इसका मतलब वो शय और समर्थन दे रही है।
For how long can the India alliance get away with insults to the vice president? Let's debate.
Was this really an insult? And as Kalyan Banerjee says that it is, after all, his fundamental right. Tonight on the debate, we'll put that out, viewers, to both sides. Joining us from the BJP national spokesperson, Tuhin Sina, Binay Singh, political analyst, Professor Monojit Mondal, political analyst joining us from Kolkata, and also from Kolkata is Unapologetic Banerjee. Opening up the debate is Unapologetic Banerjee and Tuhin Sina. Tuhin Sina, the argument that has been put forth from the opposition parties are these. One, that there perhaps is a deliberate attempt by your party to try and divert the attention. Over 140 MPs were suspended in this particular session. They say that this is nothing but the autocratic behavior of the government. Second, they say that the Prime Minister himself has also mimicked opposition leaders inside the parliament. This was outside the parliament. So let me first begin by asking you this, Tuhin Sina, on both counts. What is it that your party has to say?
Well, good evening, Shravan. Good evening, everybody. A very happy Christmas, a very Merry Christmas to everybody. You know, I have said this before, and the pervert antics of Kalyan Banerjee only would have me reiterate this. Is there an echo? I'm hearing an echo. Is there an echo, Shravan? Is there an echo? I'm hearing an echo. Is there an echo, Shravan?
Tuhin, we'll try and fix that out. We'll try and fix that out.
I can't hear your voice.
Yes, that is your conscience speaking up, I think.
Shravan, I have said this before.
We'll try and fix it.
Only reiterate it after the Yeah, so I will only reiterate it after seeing the perverted behavior of Kalyan Banerjee that TMC is a party which is fundamentally unfit for India's democracy. Today, TMC stands for Terrible Mimicry Congress. They don't realize that they are the person who they are mocking is, holds a constitutional post. And moreover, they are, if you look at the behavior of Kalyan Banerjee, they are mocking his physical disability. They are mocking him because he has risen he has risen up from a poor section of society with which, the entire Indy Alliance leaders have had a problem. In fact, before Draupadi Murmu ji became president, Congress had likened her to belonging to an evil ideology. So this is the way they treat people coming up from poor sections of society. But I think the larger point over here is that not only the TMC but the entire Indy Alliance is rattled. Yesterday at the Brigade grounds in Kolkata, something unprecedented happened. 1 lakh people were there. They recited Bhagavad Gita. There is a new awakening which is happening across Bengal, which is putting Mamata Banerjee's minority appeasement in absolute danger. This is what has rattled TMC. They know that mimicry is probably the only way they can get some votes, because, you know, the credibility of TMC leaders today is so low that, trust me, BJP is on course today to win 25
But
plus Lok Sabha
Tuhin, you've not answered my question.
In Bengal in the coming elections. And this is what has completely rattled them and blown them out of their senses.
But Tuhin, you have not answered my question, that was this also a diversionary tactic, because the government has not really spoken about the over 140 parliamentarians who have been suspended, and it's unprecedented. Last it happened, it was much lesser, and that was during Rajiv Gandhi's time.
I will answer it right away. The behavior of these MPs speak for themselves. They don't deserve to be in Parliament. Parliament is not there for time pass. It is there for doing serious business. In fact, 3 days were left for the Lok Sabha, and important bills had to be passed. The criminal justice, the amendments in the criminal justice, the new, the amended criminal justice bill had to be passed. With the kind of behavior the opposition MPs were putting up, it would have been practically impossible to transact any business. You know, gone are the days when Rahul Gandhi would throw paper planes and wink when a defense minister would be speaking on the Rafale issue. Gone are the days when Derek O'Brien would probably tear every bill that was produced in Parliament. He has a habit of tearing bills. He tore apart the Telangana bill in 2014, the farm laws in 2014. That kind of behavior will not be tolerated in Parliament. Parliament is not there for this nuisance. I think this is what these people need to realize. And with the kind of behavior the Kalyan Banerjee
Professor Monojit wants to...
I think he has only proved that such people don't deserve to be in Parliament.
Hang on. I don't think it's a monologue.
I'm going to
Professor Monojit.
Shravan, I'm going to the extreme.
Professor Monojit, you know, I've asked that. No, one second. Professor Monojit.
Win them any sympathy. Let them fight the 2024 election on this very issue. Try to earn sympathy. You will not get sympathy.
Look at him. He has not answered your question.
Professor Monojit.
You began with.
You know, Professor Monojit, not only. Professor Monojit, just hear me out. Professor Monojit, just hear me out.
Yes.
You can respond to what Tuhin has to say, but also I want to ask you a simple question. Your party, or the party that you seem to be associating yourself with, responded heavily. Perhaps some would say that, argue from your point that you would be correct, but you responded heavily when the Prime Minister addressed the Chief Minister of West Bengal as Didi or Didi during a political rally, not inside the Parliament, during a political rally. And if you remember, you had every member of the Trinamool Congress being up in arms. So how is it that this does not tantamount to an insult?
Rightly so. Very right. And this particular mimicry that Mr. Kalyan Banerjee was doing, and I'm quite confident of the fact he knows what he was doing. He's not just a senior MP in the Parliament. He is a very senior advocate of this country. He knows the laws. He knows the bylaws. But the point that you made, begin with, did the Prime Minister of this country inside the Parliament mimic someone like this? Or did the Prime Minister of this country inside the Parliament call a very senior woman MP Shurpanakha? These answers need to be questioned. So the fact remains that these things are very, very normal in politics. You need to have skin to enjoy these things. Even Mr. Banerjee, I am not defending his action. He is immensely capable of defending his action. Even not the party that I at times represent are not actually going to defend, because he knows what he is doing. But the question that I am asking, in the context in which he was doing it, in Delhi, after suspension of 142 MP, which includes him also, in the chilling cold of Delhi, he was trying to cheer these people up. The people who are almost in their 60s and 70s, they should have enjoyed, including I think, very humorous, the person who was being mimicked at. They should enjoy. Instead, what you do, you are creating issue, disability, caste, jat. Why on earth you think about the disabled people?
Can you imagine?
Why not? You had promised.
Professor Mondal, are you hearing what you're saying?
People. Let me tell you, in my university, I used to handle this disability center. You have stopped their money. The projects are not being held. UGC has stopped their money. 100 crores were promised, only 40 crores were given. You are talking about disability. You are talking about the empowerment of the tribals and the STs and STs. What you did in Manipur, most of the people who are suffering in Manipur are the tribal people. You did not even care to go there. Till date, the Prime Minister did not even go there. Have they got justice, the people of Manipur who were brutally raped in broad daylight? The answer is no. My friend was talking about the farm law. Why did you withdraw the farm laws? Because you know that was wrong. And that's precisely that was the reason these people supported. These people had to protect. Similarly, in this context, you suspend the people.
Okay, Vinay, you have Mallikarjun Kharge
inside the parliament after 2001, and you are suspending them. This is the most serious security breach.
We'll get the parliament security breach topic. Professor Mondal, that's a question I've asked the Bharatiya Janata Party time and again as far as the parliamentary breach is concerned. Okay. Vinay, Mallikarjun Kharge says that if today, he says that, look here, I'm a Dalit. That is the reason why I'm not being asked or allowed to speak on the floor of the parliament. Would that be the right analogy to, first of all, to begin with? The reason why the opposition members are now saying this, was it appropriate perhaps to, invoke the caste of the vice president of the country? Wouldn't it really suffice that he is, after all, a tall political leader, and more importantly, he holds a constitutional position, and that's good enough? Why do we really have to invoke, first of all, which caste you really belong to? And exactly what Professor Mondal is going to end up telling you, that look here, it's a mimicry, it's just an art.
Shravan, it's not the matter, I think. Mimicry and mockery are two different things. Mimicry is a product of humor, and mockery is offensive most of the times. And what the TMC MP has done, this is not mimicry, and this is not mimicry. This is mockery, in fact. And Shravan, when mockery is simple, you can, let it away, go away. But you mocked someone's spine. So what is this? This shows that the person who is mocking is a spineless person. And I'm sorry to say that. It may sound very rude. And Shravan, a recent mockery which was directed to the Honorable Vice President of this country. I'm saying Honorable Vice President of the country. He is not the Honorable Vice President of Bharatiya Janata Party. So you have got a habit of mocking, abusing, and you say that it is your right to protest, your right to expression. No, it is not. Right to expression is no license to abuse someone. When you abuse someone, it is not the right to expression. You cannot simply define it like that. And this is not mimicry, Sawan. This is mockery. And you cannot go away by just saying that this is your fundamental right. It is not. And the last thing, Sawan, such actions, I am sure that such actions compel us to contemplate the importance of empathy and respect, fostering a society built on integrity and understanding. And this is what the INDI Alliance partners must understand.
Yes.
Anirban.
Okay, Vinay, now please.
Anirban, now there is another argument that is put forth. Imagine if the Chief Minister of West Bengal inside Navarno gets perhaps the same treatment of mimicry and art that you basically call it. Fair enough, you may put it across as a fundamental right, as right to expression, etc., and all the nomenclature that you would like to add to it. The Chief Minister did not really take it very lightly when there was a cartoon. There was a cartoon that had lampooned the Chief Minister. It really did not go down well, if you remember that. Do you think you're walking the right path when you actually go and justify that mimicry is an art? Perhaps you're getting a little sort of confused about what exactly are you trying to really defend at this point in time? Do you think the Chief Minister, if this happens to her, will she accept it?
Well, first of all, the Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal, she is time and again, day out and day in, abused by the BJP leaders, not mocked, not mimicked. She is regularly abused. A woman of nearly 70 years of age, like a mother to many, is continuously abused by BJP leaders from West Bengal, and their leaders from other states also come to West Bengal, and from their rallies keep that abuse continuing. Therefore, it's not just mimicry, it's abuse that she has to face time and again from the BJP leaders. Let me make that clear, number one. Number two, regarding the mimicry of what Kalyan Banerjee did, when mimicry starts to hurt the ruler, you can be very sure that the ruler is no longer just a ruler. It has metamorphosed into a tyrant, a dictator, and an oppressor. In this case, what actually happened inside the parliament, both the houses, the suspension of nearly 150 MPs was actually the suspension of the voices of those people who voted for these MPs, which amounts to nearly 50% of the electorate of 2019. And after they were suspended, almost in an opposition-free house, the BJP brought in extremely important bills and passed them without any kind of discussion. You think that was not a mockery of democracy?
But Anirban, there are certain rules.
Not a mockery of a parliamentary system?
Okay.
Yes, tell me what are the rules? I think in the BJP ruled parliament, the only rule is that you cannot question the BJP. Oh, there's another rule, you cannot question Adani as well.
Yeah.
No, that's not the point. No, just you know, you may argue that these are technical points. Now, there are technical points to it. You may say that, okay, look here, you know, perhaps you should be allowing people, you know, walking into the well of the parliament with placards all over. There are ways of, for instance, while you may criticize the AIMIM as far as the criminal code bills are concerned, you had the AIMIM chief Asauddin Owaisi taking the Union Home Minister on this entire matter. But you did not have a single opposition members perhaps waiting for this to happen and giving a free run to the government, where on a very historic legislative, you did not have the opposition members present there. Tuhin, you've heard what Anirban as well as Professor Mondal have been saying, that the Chief Minister of West Bengal has time and again not only been lampooned but also been abused. So why is it that perhaps we are getting so very jumpy about this entire thing about the Vice President being insulted?
No, Shravan, we know how Mamata Banerjee reacted to one of her cartoons. She put the person in jail for how many years, you would be in a better position to tell. How many years? 10, right? So we know how TMC handles such lampoonery, and it is not even mockery, it is lampoonery. But the point here is that, you know, this entire opposition is, unfortunately, I have to use the word,
Professor Mondal, allow opposition. I
will give you some examples.
Allow Tuhin to respond.
I will give you some examples. The Delhi High Court on 20... the Delhi High Court on 21st
you were silent when he was
basically lying.
You know,
Tuhin is basically lying.
You know, this is the behavior, you know, they can put up, Shravan, they can put up this behavior on your show, but unfortunately, if they put up this behavior in parliament, they will face the kind of action they faced in parliament. We don't interrupt, we don't intervene when they speak, but what is this intrusive behavior when we speak?
You are lying, Tuhin. Why are you being a liar?
I'm not a TMC. I'm not a TMC guy. I will not lie. Shravan, you will, as a journalist, you will have the facts.
Yes, you are a BJP. That is why you are a liar.
There is a specific
give the name. Give us the name.
One second. I have asked this question. I have already asked this.
Not a liar. Prove it.
Anirban, this is a question I also asked you, that the Chief Minister never took it lightly when it came to the cartoon. But 1 minute, Anirban, you asked this point. You asked this point that, you know, is the government...
Anirban, hold on. That someone was put in jail for 10 years for a cartoon in West Bengal. What is the name?
You know, if you have facts to counter him, you please go ahead and, you know, simply calling him a liar does not really help. Simply calling the other, your opponent, simply calling your opponent a liar without countering him with a fact.
Shravan, they can get away with this behavior on your show. They will not get away with
Anirban, will you just hold on for, will you just hold on for 30 seconds? Will you just hold on for 30 seconds? Hold on. Anirban, hold on for 30 seconds.
Point over here. Can you please,
Anirban, just 30 seconds, hold on, let Tuhin respond.
Learn good etiquette, how to be... How to
go ahead.
You should learn some debating skills from us. Do we intervene? Do we intrude when you speak? Please learn these basic courtesies before you come on a national channel. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but this entire opposition is an uncouth and depraved opposition. Look at the kind of words they use against the Prime Minister. Panoti, for which the Delhi High Court on 21st December, the Delhi High Court has given 8 weeks to the Election Commission to decide on what action they want to specifically pursue against Rahul Gandhi for the use of the word Panoti. Like I mentioned in the run-up to the presidential election, look at the words they had used against Honorable Draupadi Murmu ji. You remember Dr. Ajay Kumar likening her ideology to an evil ideology? So, I mean, they need to introspect. This is not the kind of behavior which Indian democracy expects from them. I can provide you a news link. You want me to provide you a news link? I can provide you that. But I'm not obligated to remember the names of people you torture because there are hundreds and hundreds of BJP Karyakartas who were tortured after the 2021 election results.
Not interject. It's my turn now. First of all, I won't call.
Who are you to decide? Let someone decide whose turn it is.
Professor Mondal, okay. Professor Mondal, 1 minute. Professor Mondal.
Stop for Republic's sake.
Professor Mondal, 1 minute. Tuhin, you have responded. Let Professor Mondal come in. Professor Mondal, I'll give you. Professor Mondal, I'll give you a few instances.
Liars cannot be.
1 minute. Hold on.
You know the word liar scares me if they cannot control their
Professor Mondal, please. Can we just have some decorum here? Professor Mondal, it's 1 minute. Professor Mondal, 1 minute. There is no point
since Professor, look at the behavior.
I'll give you the chance of 1 minute, Professor Mondal.
Nobody was in jail for 10 years.
Professor Mondal, can you just at least hear the question?
Yes. Okay. Yes, Shravan. Yes.
But the FIR was registered? FIR was registered? Okay. Now just 2 instances I want to also highlight and then you can respond to whatever Tuhin has said. Professor Mondal, your alliance partner, the Congress, had basically condemned the Prime Minister for jibing Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi for not using the Nehru surname. KC Venugopal had issued a breach of privilege notice in Rajya Sabha against the Prime Minister's remark. The fact of the matter is this. The reason why I also asked this question to Anirban, that aren't we walking down a slippery slope if we really justify the kind of perhaps bordering physical insult that was made? Do you think that was appropriate at the end of the day? You can criticize the government on policies.
Mimicry is also a form of criticism, but you have to have the skin either to enjoy it or to swallow it. That's it. In politics, these things are very, very natural. And my friend Anirban was mentioning about abuses. Abuses are not allowed. When you are abusing a person, calling him or her name, that is not allowed. There you have to have reasonable restriction as it comes under Article 19 of the Constitution. But mimicry, just look the other way. Enjoy it. And I think I enjoyed what Prime Minister was doing inside the Parliament. Now in hindsight, I should have enjoyed, but I enjoyed it. He was a terrific speaker. He was trying to, invoke Ramayana, Mahabharata, and so on and so forth. Doing all this winking. These are enjoyable, and people are enjoying. People are clapping, and that was happening. Mind you, inside the Parliament doesn't mean that you are defiling the sanctity of the Parliament. The answer is no. Mr. Banerjee, what he is doing is outside the Parliament. He's trying to cheer up his audiences. He was trying to cheer up those people. 144 MPs were suspended without any rhyme and reason. And this becomes an issue. And what is the principal issue? The security breach. What have you done to that? Have all the culprits been arrested? The answer is no. You are still harboring the main culprit who issued the pass because he is a BJP MP. These are
Professor
all,
Saab,
I think,
let me
deliberate
reply.
attempt on your part
Binay wants to
muddle and scuttle the principal issue of the security breach, because you're
Professor,
unable
let
to
me
handle
reply.
it. You're unable to face the people. And I
It's okay. Let me reply, Professor.
You know, Binay, for the benefit of our viewers, Binay and then Anirban can come in. Okay, Professor Mandal, you made a point. I'll take that on. I'll take that on.
And with all due regards to the Vice President, he became a party to that.
Professor Saab, please stop.
Now, Binay, there are two aspects to it. Tuhin says, one minute, hold on. It's a fundamental issue that we need to address this.
You know,
the opposition,
Shaman, can I come in
the Trinamool
for a
Congress
second
and
over
others
here?
have been saying that, look here.
I asked you.
Look, 1 minute. Tuhin, I'll give you the chance. Let me just quickly get in.
How many years the person spent in jail? But this is the report. These are news reports. Years the person spent in jail.
No, but the
He was in jail for 10 hours. He was in jail for 10 hours because...
No, that is
I specifically asked you, Shravan, how many years, because I was not sure of the years.
You know, Professor Mondal, 10 hours, 10 minutes, 1 minute. Okay, now Professor Mondal, you know it very well. You know, if you are a champion, if you are a champion of liberal values, 1 minute. Professor Mondal, on that count. Now, whether there would be grey areas as far as mimicry and everything is concerned. No, Professor Mondal, please understand this. I think so. You know, someone who espouses liberal values, and if you say that the party stands for liberal values, you know, a cartoon at the end of the day, if you have sedition charges, what happened even during the UPA government, or even if it happens under this government also, it is worth criticizing. The chief minister taking offense because the cartoonist puts out, then it becomes a problem, my dear friend. You know, Professor Mondal, I think even an FIR, forget about 10 days, 10 hours, 10 minutes, even the FIR against a cartoonist should not have been allowed in the first place. But let me just bring back the debate. It's not about, you know, that's just one instance I had highlighted in the beginning of the debate. But Binay, you know, think about it. Professor Mondal, I know there has been an inclination to support the party, but I don't think so on that count you should really support.
You are putting them in jail for raising issues. What are you doing with that?
Let me reply.
Jumping from one to the other, you raised about one issue. Okay, I'll come to that issue. Binay. Coming to the point, Tuhin says it's a naya, you know, Tuhin says, 1 minute, hold on. Professor Mondal, let's not deviate. 1 minute.
No, I'm not deviating.
Binay, Tuhin says, this is Naya Bharat. 1 minute, hold on, Professor Mondal. You know, people want to also learn from, understand what's the real issue. Binay, just a quick point, and then Anirban, because I'm running out of time. Tuhin says this is Naya Bharat. No longer will we really tolerate, you know, people tearing off bills inside the parliament. This is not going to be allowed. The opposition says that you're being absolutely autocratic. Rules clearly make it, on this point, is amply clear that there is a decorum that one must follow. And that's
Shravan,
the real picture lies.
Shravan, inside the parliament, there is a quorum and there is a decorum, both. And when you look at these mockery kind of things, this incident sheds light on a persistent pattern within the Congress system. A tendency to demean constitutional institutions over an extended period of time. And Shravan, the last point I want to make that such actions warrant a discourse and the importance to hold the dignity of constitutional positions, the constitutional roles in our democratic fabric. And Shravan, different kind of deficiency.
Anirban,
if you
quick
have
response.
protein or vitamin deficiency in your body, you can lead to different problems.
I have a single query to Vinay and Tuhin. Vinay, I have a single
query. Now, okay, Anirban, quick point.
Tuhin, did Ramesh Bidhuri break the decorum of the parliament?
Acha, who supported him? Anybody came in support of him? Anyone?
No. Did anything happen? Was he suspended?
Any of the BJP leaders leave the BJP leaders, even the BJP voters.
Any so-called?
Did anybody came in support?
Was he suspended?
You are supporting such kind of.
Was he suspended? No, according to you, Should he have been suspended?
No, the case was
quick response. Quick response on that.
Suspend him. The privileges committee.
Should he have been suspended? That's the only question.
He has already mentioned. Unlike the TMC, nobody. No. Let me answer. If you put the question, have the patience to listen to the answer. Not a single BJP leader or Karyakarta has supported.
Let Tuhin respond.
Under the purview of
Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad and Harshvardhan were laughing.
The committee has already sat on it.
Sitting behind him, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad and Harshvardhan was laughing.
Committee. There are certain processes that are...
Gentlemen, I'm really running short of time now. Political...
Right.
Gentlemen, I'm really running short of time. But perhaps, making fun of someone's physical disability cannot really be seen as some sort of a mimicry and an art. And there, perhaps for all sides, be it the Bharatiya Janata Party or for the opposition parties, perhaps calling names, physical abuses, these are aspects that one should perhaps refrain from. And more importantly, can you go on insulting a constitutional position? That's the key difference here, ladies and gentlemen. On the other side, we have another debate lined up for you. Let's just take a quick 30-second Secureite commercial break.
Ransomware and other advanced threats are on the rise. Your organization can be the next target. Are you ready? Secureite Hawk Hunt XDR with AI-powered enhanced detection and response can help prepare your organization to counter next ransomware attack, data breach and advanced threat. Secureite Hawk Hunt XDR.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a new twist in the Cash for News scam. NewsClick HR head Amit Chakrabarti, who is also accused in the case, has sought the Delhi court to turn a prover in the case. Will Amit Chakrabarti blow the lid of the foreign funding link? Here are the developments and then we begin the debate.
The NewsClick probe took a fresh turn today. The news portal's HR head moved the Delhi High Court to file an application to turn a government witness in the case.
A major breakthrough in the NewsClick case that is being investigated by the Delhi Police Special Cell. Amit Chakrabarti, who is the head of the human resources in the NewsClick case and who has been arrested by the Delhi Police under charges of UAPA, now has filed an application in Patiala House Court where he has mentioned that he wants to be the government witness.
The Delhi Police's special cell has accused NewsClick of receiving foreign funds from Chinese agents to spread anti-India propaganda. Both the founder Prabir Purkasayasta and the HR head were charged under the UAPA in October. Sources have told Republic that special cell submitted probe report last week.
Prabir Purkasayasta on December 22nd had also filed a bail application. However, his bail was denied and his custody was further extended. Coincidentally, it is on this day only when Amit Chakrabarti, also in the same court where Prabir Purkasayasta had applied for the bail, later came and submitted an application in which he mentioned that he now wanted to be a government witness.
Will Amit Chakrabarti blow the lid off foreign funding link? Let's debate.
Well, for the longest time, this was the argument when a case was registered against NewsClick by the Enforcement Directorate and thereafter the Delhi Police Special Cell, that look here, this particular group is being targeted only because they criticize the Modi government. Ladies and gentlemen, an insider today, someone who has been part and parcel of the entire game, has now filed an application in the court. And what is it that the NewsClick has been accused of? NewsClick has essentially been accused of peddling Chinese propaganda, and that too for the money that they were essentially getting. Vinay Singh, Amit Chakravarti, the head HR of NewsClick, is now willing to spill the bean. What really happens to that long list of the lobby who had basically been a signatory, and there was a statement that was issued where they said that it is an attack on the right of the people of the country to information that can enable them to fight against injustice. They call this as injustice that was meted out. Vinay.
Shravan, this is not only, what charges are, labeled against NewsClick. The real charges are the national security perspective. You can look at it. They didn't just try to propagate the Chinese propaganda, but they tried to further the fault lines of the Indian society. And I am surprised that why just ED and CBI are into this case. It's a perfect case for the NIA. It's a perfect case for the NIA. And one more thing, Savan. Look at the Republic is a news organization. How do you run the organization? You have a model, you have a commercial model, you have a revenue model. What is the revenue model of NewsClick? If they were making payment to their journalist, or if you visit the NewsClick office, you are offered a coffee or a pizza, the payment was made by donations coming from abroad. And that also from those people, those entities, those organizations, those who are anti-India. They have an anti-India, track record or anti-India history. And I am surprised, Shravan, that till date, many journalists, many, so-called civil rights champions, they are, giving certificate to Prabir Purkayastha and NewsClick. And I want to ask
Binay, I'm not really surprised.
That if the court will prove them guilty, so will they publish an article or will they write a piece that yes, that was their mistake in analyzing, Prabir or NewsClick?
Turning an approver was, well, this is also another story that has been completely blanked out. And I'm not really surprised, Nikhil Jain. After all, who exactly is supporting the NewsClick? Indian American Muslim Council. Now, Indian American Muslim Council is that same very lobby firm that was blacklisted by the US Commission on the International Religious Freedom. They were outraging over it. The CPM says the exemplary manner in which the PRC, that's People's Republic of China, tackled and contained the COVID pandemic, also say that you should condemn the attack on NewsClick. 38 crore rupees, Nikhil Jain, has been received by an organization, as Binay was saying, does not have a revenue model. And there is evidence to the fact that the moment they received the money, they actually peddled the Chinese propaganda. Please tell me, are you going to, in any sane mind, really say that, look here, China really handled the pandemic really well? That's exactly what NewsClick did.
I don't think China, no, Shravan, I don't think China handled the pandemic very well. If for anything, they are the reason why the world had to go through the sort of pandemic that we did. Had they been more transparent with the information that they were giving out to the people and to other countries in the world, we would have all been better off. But so far as this NewsClick case is concerned, I completely agree with the previous panelists that why is the National Investigative Agency not looking into it? Why is it the ED and other agencies that are concerned with financial irregularities looking at it instead of agencies that are to do with terrorism? And one very important point that all your viewers must know and understand is that Republic, or I think some other channel, in 2021 was making these allegations, but the government of India chose to do nothing about it except raid them with the ED, because at that point of time they were also critical of the Modi government. So far as these allegations of the Chinese link and the Chinese paying them money to peddle propaganda in India is concerned, there was no activity from the government of India for 2 years. I don't understand how can there be such level of intelligence failure on the part of the government that an organization is doing that, taking money from practically what is an enemy country to us right now. And the government had no clue. They only were interested in ED and money laundering. That is the problem, that they are more interested in vindicting and victimizing those who speak against them, whether they're good people or bad people, than actually caring about the security and national security and sovereignty of the country.
Think about it. Nikhil, you are think about this. What your argument is like this. Okay, your argument is simply like this. A, you are saying that you have a problem, that there is an investigation that has been carried out against this organization called NewsClick.
No. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem.
That this
I don't have a problem.
investigation is happening only because they've been critical of the government. See, you said that there is an intelligence failure because NewsClick had actually allegedly received money from dubious sources. What exactly are you trying to say?
Absolutely. What I'm trying to say is that NewsClick was doing something that was against the interest of the country, and so far it seems so. Why was the government not able to deal with them in the right manner? Why does it have to be an ED raid? Why can it not be an NIA investigation? Did the government have no reports from the RAW or from the IB? These are questions of national security. See, ED is an agency for money laundering.
The Delhi Police Special Cell has already invoked UAPA.
I am interested in national security.
Okay, now.
And this government is constantly failing on it. Look at the parliament.
Let me just try and explain this to you. Let me just try and explain this to you. No, 1 second. It is a step-by-step process. It's a step-by-step process, number one. As far as NewsClick is concerned, first with regards to the money that actually came in, that was allegedly received by this particular organization. UAPA charges were basically leveled later when there was more evidence that was gathered. So I don't see a problem in that. But Gyanendra, if I can also bring you in.
The problem is that UAPA charges are 2 years.
Will you also be a part of that entire lobby which essentially said that there was injustice that was meted out against NewsClick? The same very organization whose HR head is now saying that, look here, money was allegedly received.
Okay, thank you.
Gyanendra Mishra, I'm not too sure whether he's being able to hear. We'll try and reconnect this. Binay, why don't you quickly respond to what Nikhil Jain is saying? Nikhil Jain saying that what is the government really doing all this while?
Sawan, I agree with you and Nikhil both that yes, there are steps and certainly it is a case of NIA. And NIA will step in some time. But the fact of the matter is, Sawan, that each and every country, small or big, they have made provisions to check funds coming from abroad. Like USA, you take it for example, they have FARA, F-A-R-A. Like Russia, you take Undesirable Organizations Act 2015. They check these funds. In India, we amended the act and it is FCRA 2020. After FCRA 2020, it is the fact of the matter that such organizations, the anti-India elements, anti-India funds, organizations, they were choked. They were not having ample funds or ample oxygen to breathe. And Shravan, one more thing I would like to say, it's very important, that persons like Naval Rai Singham, persons the type of George Soros, these persons or these type of organizations, open society or other organizations, they must be marked as enemy organizations. And these funds, they should be marked as enemy funds. So any organization in India, those who are associated with enemy entities or those who are beneficiaries of enemy funds should be taken care of.
Gyanendra Mishra, okay. Binay, let me also get in Gyanendra. Gyanendra, why should an organization which has been peddling propaganda on behalf of an enemy country should actually get the kind of sympathy that the lobby wants to extend it to them? Why is it that the same very lobby actually sides with an IAMC? It is the same very political party which basically, for the sake of supporting the Communist Party of China, the CCP, they will go stand on one leg and still support them.
No, see, Shravan, thank you for having me here. See, that this is a very dangerous tendency that we are pronouncing guilty to the individual and organization without even the trial is complete and they are pronounced guilty by the court of law. The point is that yes, there are certain charges which has been leveled against the NewsClick and its founder. They are under the judicial custody for a long time now, even when the trial has not started. And this is again a very dangerous trend where the people are put behind the bar for months and sometimes years together, even when the trials is not commenced. was to talk about the completion of the trial. And that is the travesty of justice, that's the travesty of right to life and dignity, and that's the travesty to many other fundamental rights which the Constitution guarantees you. As far as, the question of that whether there was any Chinese funding to the organization or whether they indulge into any propaganda on behalf of, the Chinese government, that is yet to be established. I don't think there is any credible evidence on record at this point in the investigation which proves that there has been any Chinese funding, one, and secondly, this Chinese funding is not in accordance with the law, and third, this funding has been done to propagate the propaganda of the Chinese government. Therefore, before reaching to or jumping to a conclusion,
at least, I'm not saying it stands the scrutiny of the court. Gyanendra Mishra, no one is going to argue that after all, it's the scrutiny of the court is yet to be done on this entire matter. Prima facie, simply going by the evidence that has been put forth on the table, and at least when the arguments have been made inside the court, simply going by that and what we are seeing clearly goes on to indicate that there is something seriously wrong. The very fact that you have Prabir Purkaister, his bail being rejected by the Honorable Court, is primarily on the grounds that the court is satisfied with the fact that there is primary evidence on this entire matter. Binay, one last word to you on this matter, and then perhaps even Nikhil Jain can come in for a quick word. Binay, you've heard what Gyanendra is saying, that there is yet to be any of these allegations are yet to be proven. So why exactly jump the guns?
Shravan, as far as journalists are concerned, you or my friends in the panel, they are one of the brightest minds of the world. Many times the investigation done by a journalist has led to evidence, has proved to be evidence for the police. Many times, in many cases, the police were helpless and the journalists did an investigation and it was great. So if you say that why to jump to a conclusion that they are guilty when the proceeding is going on, the same applies to you, Mr. Sir, that why you jump to a conclusion that he is not guilty. Because many articles, many people, they are giving him
no one is
sorry,
no one is jumping to the conclusion that he is not guilty.
That's why his remark.
See, there cannot be any conclusion. See, the individual conclusion does not matter at all. What I conclude, what you conclude, do not matter. Either in terms of the guilt or in terms of innocence.
If someone is connected
that is the process.
You know what their intentions
law will establish who is guilty or not.
I'm sure you are one of
the.
But
as far as the Shravan is talking about the
Binay, I'm really running short of
time. I don't give any credibility without denying or accepting the bail.
Nikhil, a quick word. 30 seconds quickly. Nikhil, I'm really running short of time.
There is no uniformity at all. As far as the bail law is concerned,
that in India, until proven in a court of law, everybody is deemed to be not guilty. They may or may not be guilty, but the question for the country is, why did the government not act on the matter sooner? Why were they not charged under the right sections 2 years ago when all this news came out? Of course, we should wait for the probe before just brandishing them as guilty. But of course, the matter needs to be looked into, and the government is way too late in this. This is nothing but an intelligence failure on the part of the government.
Well, thank you very much, Binay, Nikhil, as well as Gyanendra Mishra for joining us on the debate. That's all that we could pack today. Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami will be back tonight.
Powered by Riva University, a social impact multidisciplinary university. SecRite, रखे देश का हर बिजनेस साइबर सुरक्षित. Secure your tomorrow today. Amazing spaces के लिए Green Lamb Laminates.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University. Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Financial independence, what are the sort of efforts that you put in?
Ladies and gentlemen, at a time when our forces is on a hot pursuit, avenging this coward Pakistani terror attack, political parties are now busy scoring petty political points. Can you essentially blame the Modi government for the state policy of Pakistan? And mind you, the only policy that Pakistan has wholeheartedly nurtured since its creation is to breed terrorists and give them cover fire as they attempt to infiltrate. Can you blame the Modi government when Pakistan stands on one leg to defend the likes of 2611 mastermind Hafiz Saeed? Can you blame the Modi government when Pakistan helps Hafiz Saeed to float a political party and gives them a free run? And for those who have once again upped the rhetoric about abrogation of Article 370, here's a reality check. 25,000 crore investment project has been executed in the Kashmir Valley. Stone pelting is down to zero. Organized hartals is down to zero, and terror recruitment is down from 199 in 2018 to 12 in 2023. And if you're wondering why Poonch and Rajouri sectors are seeing an uptick in terror-related activities, ladies and gentlemen, Kashmir is too hot for Pakistan to make a strong statement on its relevance and capability to calibrate both issues that are important to Pakistan's doctrine of proxy hybrid war. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the debate number 1. And then we have also 2 other debates lined up for you. Debate number 1, forces on all-out mission to wipe out Pakistan cowards, but India at it again politicizes the martyrdom of our braves. That's debate number 1. Indian Neta remains defiant, repeats insult to Vice President. India continues to back shameful mocking, debating at 10 p.m.